The Battle of Gettysburg, fought from July 1st to July 3rd, 1863, stands as one of the most significant turning points in the American Civil War. This monumental clash took place in and around the small town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and involved the largest number of casualties in the entire war, with Union forces led by General George Meade facing off against Confederate General Robert E. Lee's army. The battle was not just a military engagement, it was a defining moment that shaped the future of the nation. Understanding the historical context of Gettysburg is crucial. By mid-1863, the Confederacy was gaining momentum, and Lee's invasion of the North aimed to secure a key victory that could sway public opinion and potentially lead to foreign recognition of the Confederacy. However, the Union's resilience at Gettysburg marked a turning point, halting Lee's advance and shifting the tide of the war. In this documentary, we will consider the strategies, key figures, and harrowing experiences of soldiers on both sides. By exploring the significance of the Battle of Gettysburg, we aim to illuminate its lasting impact on American history and the enduring lessons it offers about courage, sacrifice, and unity in the face of division. The American Civil War, which erupted in 1861, was the culmination of deep-rooted political, social, and economic tensions that had been brewing for decades. At the heart of the conflict was the issue of slavery, which created a profound divide between the northern states, where abolitionist sentiments were growing, and the southern states, which relied heavily on slave labor for their agricultural economy. This fundamental disagreement over human rights and economic interests set the stage for a national crisis. Politically, the struggle for power between pro-slavery and anti-slavery factions intensified with events like the Missouri Compromise and the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which allowed new territories to decide the slavery issue for themselves. Key figures emerged during this tumultuous period, including President Abraham Lincoln, who sought to preserve the Union and ultimately abolish slavery, and Confederate President Jefferson Davis, who championed the Southern cause and states' rights. Socially, the North and South developed distinct identities, with the North embracing industrialization and urbanization, while the South remained agrarian and traditional. These differences strengthened mutual distrust and animosity, leading to the secession of Southern states following Lincoln's election in 1860. Understanding these causes and events is essential to grasp the complexities of the Civil War and its lasting impact on American society. As the summer of 1863 approached, the stage was set for one of the most pivotal battles in American history. The movements of both Union and Confederate armies in the months leading up to the Battle of Gettysburg were marked by strategic maneuvers and significant engagements. Following the Confederate victory at Chancellorsville in May, General Robert E. Lee sought to capitalize on his momentum by invading the North. His goal was to relieve pressure on Virginia's farms, gather supplies, and potentially sway Northern public opinion in favor of peace. In response, Union forces, now under the command of General George Meade, were tasked with halting Lee's advance. Meade had recently taken command of the Army of the Potomac and faced the daunting challenge of countering Lee's experienced troops. The Union Army's movements were characterized by a series of defensive strategies aimed at protecting key locations while gathering intelligence on Confederate positions. The significance of previous battles, particularly Chancellorsville, cannot be overstated. Lee's victory there showcased his tactical brilliance, but also left his army vulnerable due to high casualties. As both sides prepared for the impending confrontation, the stakes were higher than ever, setting the stage for a clash that would determine the fate of the nation. On July 1st, 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg commenced with fierce clashes that would shape the course of the American Civil War. As the day unfolded, both the Union and Confederate armies strategically positioned themselves around the town of Gettysburg. The Union forces, under General George Meade, took up defensive positions on high ground, including Cemetery Hill and Cemetery Ridge, which provided a tactical advantage. Meanwhile, General Robert E. Lee's Confederate troops aimed to seize control of the town and its surrounding ridges to exploit their superior numbers. The initial engagements began early in the morning, with Confederate forces clashing with Union cavalry at McPherson's Ridge. This location became a focal point of the battle as both sides fought fiercely for control. The Union cavalry, led by General John Buford, displayed remarkable tenacity, delaying the Confederate advance and allowing infantry reinforcements to arrive. The importance of terrain in the battle's outcome cannot be overstated. The high ground held by the Union forces offered a significant advantage, allowing them to effectively repel Confederate assaults throughout the day. As the fighting intensified, the struggle for key locations like McPherson's Ridge set the stage for the larger conflict that would unfold over the next 2 days, ultimately determining the fate of both armies. The second day of the Battle of Gettysburg, July 2nd, 1863, proved to be a critical turning point in the conflict, marked by fierce fighting and strategic maneuvers that would shape the outcome of the battle. As dawn broke, General Robert E. Lee sought to exploit the Union's defensive positions by launching coordinated attacks on key locations, including Little Round Top and the Wheatfield. Little Round Top, a strategically vital hill, became the site of intense combat as Union forces led by Colonel Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain defended their position against repeated Confederate assaults. Chamberlain's troops displayed remarkable courage and ingenuity, famously executing a bayonet charge that ultimately repelled the attackers and secured the Union flank. Meanwhile, fierce fighting erupted in the Wheatfield, where both sides suffered heavy casualties as they vied for control of this crucial terrain. Tactical maneuvers played a significant role on this day, with Lee attempting to outflank the Union lines while Meade reinforced his positions to maintain the high ground. The fierce clashes and the determination displayed by both armies underscored the significance of July 2nd in determining the battle's outcome. The Union forces had successfully held their ground, setting the stage for the climactic final day of battle. The third day of the Battle of Gettysburg, July 3rd, 1863, culminated in one of the most famous and fateful events of the American Civil War, Pickett's Charge. General Robert E. Lee, determined to break the Union lines and secure a decisive victory, devised a bold strategy that involved a massive frontal assault against the center of the Union position on Cemetery Ridge. The charge was led by Major General George Pickett, commanding a division of Confederate troops, and was intended to exploit perceived weaknesses in the Union defenses. As the charge commenced, approximately 12,500 Confederate soldiers advanced across open fields, facing a hail of artillery and rifle fire from entrenched Union forces. The execution of Pickett's charge was marked by incredible bravery as soldiers pressed forward despite overwhelming odds. However, the assault quickly turned into a devastating disaster, with heavy casualties inflicted on the advancing troops. The impact of Pickett's charge on Confederate morale was profound. The staggering losses, estimated at over 50% for the attacking forces, shattered the confidence of Lee's army and marked a turning point in the war. The bravery and sacrifices made by soldiers on both sides during this climactic moment underscored the human cost of the conflict, solidifying Gettysburg's place in history as a pivotal battle that ultimately shifted the tide in favor of the Union. The aftermath of the Battle of Gettysburg left a profound impact on both the Union and Confederate armies, marked by staggering casualties that reflected the brutal nature of the conflict. Over 3 days of intense fighting, approximately 51,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or missing, making it one of the bloodiest battles in American history. The Union suffered around 23,000 casualties, while the Confederates faced about 28,000. These losses not only weakened the fighting capabilities of both armies, but also deeply affected the morale of soldiers and civilians alike. In the broader context of the Civil War, the significance of Gettysburg cannot be overstated. The Union victory halted General Lee's invasion of the North and marked a turning point in the war, shifting momentum in favor of the Union forces. It also galvanized support for the war effort in the North, reinforcing the resolve to preserve the Union. In the wake of the battle, President Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery on November 19, 1863. In just a few short minutes, Lincoln articulated the principles of human equality, and the purpose of the war, emphasizing the need for a new birth of freedom. This powerful speech has since become a cornerstone of American political rhetoric, symbolizing the enduring legacy of Gettysburg and the fight for unity and equality. The Battle of Gettysburg left an indelible mark on American history, influencing public perception of the Civil War and shaping the nation's collective memory. Following the battle, the staggering casualties and the heroism displayed by soldiers on both sides transformed how the public viewed the conflict. The Union victory was celebrated as a turning point, fostering a sense of hope and determination among Northern citizens, while simultaneously deepening the resolve of the Confederacy to fight on. In the aftermath, the establishment of Gettysburg as a national cemetery became a significant milestone. President Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, delivered during the cemetery's dedication, emphasized the importance of honoring those who fought and died for the principles of liberty and equality. This act not only memorialized the fallen, but also solidified Gettysburg's place in American consciousness as a symbol of sacrifice and national unity. Moreover, the battle played a crucial role in shaping American identity and memory. It became a focal point for discussions about freedom, democracy, and the nation's future. Over time, Gettysburg evolved into a site of pilgrimage, attracting visitors who seek to understand the complexities of the Civil War and its lasting impact on the United States. The legacy of Gettysburg continues to resonate, reminding us of the sacrifices made in the pursuit of a more perfect union. In this documentary, we have explored the profound significance of the Battle of Gettysburg, a pivotal moment in the American Civil War that not only altered the course of the conflict, but also shaped the future of the nation. We examined the strategic maneuvers of both Union and Confederate forces, the fierce fighting at key locations, and the devastating casualties that underscored the battle's brutality. The legacy of Gettysburg, from its establishment as a national cemetery to the enduring impact of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, highlights the importance of remembering this moment in history as a testament to the sacrifices made for freedom and unity. As we reflect on the lessons learned from Gettysburg, it is crucial to recognize the ongoing relevance of this battle in understanding our national identity and the values we hold dear. By remembering the bravery and sacrifices of those who fought, we honor their legacy and ensure that their stories continue to resonate with future generations. If you found this documentary insightful, we encourage you to engage with us by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and sharing it with others who may be interested in learning more about this critical chapter in American history. Together, let's keep the memory of Gettysburg alive and continue exploring the rich tapestry of our past.